Do you know what? I think I've just listened to the boys in the commentary box, and I thought this second half performance from Arsenal was way better than what I saw at the weekend. I have to disagree and stand up for this team. I saw enough in that second half. Okay, they didn't put the ball in the back of the net, but you saw Inter Milan players lying on the strewn across the deck. And there's 11 games now they've gone unbeaten here. This is a very difficult place to come to. 70% possession, 14 shots from Arsenal, copious amounts of crosses. I get it. When Yeri perhaps should have been on the pitch a little bit sooner. But that was definitely an upgrade on the performance we saw against Newcastle. There was no fight in the team at the weekend. I saw plenty of fight here tonight.
Well, that fight needs to continue. You can see the table up there on the left. Arsenal did actually have a chance to move into the top 8. If they had won the game today, they're 12th now at the moment. And Inter, who've gone up a couple of points as well, they're in 5th. So they're really starting to solidify themselves in the top 8. And that is how it is shaping up at the moment. We'll tell you some of the other results a bit later on. We've got loads to tell you about as well around the Champions League and also on TNT Sports just in general. Hey, James Horcastle joins me. So does Martin Keown and Rio Ferdinand to have a look back at that match, really, which for Arsenal fans would be thoroughly depressing to see. Another kind of lacklustre performance from them. And although Martin said they improved in the second half, wasn't enough to break through. Inter just so resolute once again.
Yeah, which is incredible considering the amount that Simone Inzaghi rotated tonight. I mean, he made 6 changes. We saw him bring on, their core players at the end. The likes of Barella, Mkhitaryan. So I think that's a mark of a great manager, where you can make all of these changes in the game as big as tonight, and you don't really see a difference. And credits out into a run as well, because it's been hard the last few years here. Been a lot of financial uncertainty over the Chinese owner, who was evicted by a hedge fund in the summer, and 4 free transfers in that first 11 tonight. Yeah, think of Calhanoglu, De Vrij, all freebies, Zielinski, Taremi, freebies. It's another way of running a football club.
I think don't underestimate the coaching element. I think the management, yes, fantastic as well, but the coaching, to see the fluidity for this team, from the goalkeeper all the way through to creating chances at the other end or getting on the end of things, was magnificent to see. The players that are willing to take the ball in uncomfortable situations, I think it's testament to great coaching that sets a team within a structure to go and perform. But at the same time, I think I agree with a lot of what Martin's saying. The way Arsenal played in the second half, they had this Newcastle team on the ropes a couple of times. They just huffed and puffed without any real bite up front. That lack of quality, I think, in the final third was the thing that let them down today, about getting a point at least.
Should we have a look at the penalty incident, Martin?
Well, let's not forget, it was a controversial moment that Arsenal lost this game from, and it was, it's fine margins, and I don't believe that was a penalty. I feel this is really harsh. Where are you supposed to put your arm in that position? The unnatural. Who's making those rules? Have they played the game? Of course, look, he puts this away. I think that's 20 now on the bounce. This man is
19 out of 19 for him.
Yeah, he dispatches things, and then of course Moreno taken off at half-time. Jesus comes on, and Arsenal did seem a whole lot better. And you have to look at it. Inter Milan, all credit. James has just said, 2 years since they lost to the Champions League game here, and their players were on their knees at the end of the game. Arsenal really pushed them. 46 crosses in the game. Umpteen corners.
Yeah, but don't forget, 6 changes. It's not their first team.
Yes, but nonetheless, they were able to do that. His manager has the confidence to do it. And I think, actually, it's much of a muchness, their midfield. Everyone that comes on and off is very similar.
Barella's their best midfielder.
He didn't start the game, but he finishes the game. And that was the right moment to bring him on. But nonetheless, Arsenal dominated the whole of that second half. So they can build on that, but they've lost again. And that's where the problems are for Arsenal. But they did have opportunities.
But the spine of their team didn't play today. I think you're trying to paper over the cracks a little bit. You've got Thuram that doesn't start. He's a starter. Barella doesn't start. Bastoni,
but DiMarco doesn't start.
Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, but you can argue that. But if you look through their fixtures, and I've looked most of them, they've all played a major part. So the manager's he's spinning plates, their manager. He's in a perfect position, isn't he?
No, but Mike, you know who your best players are.
I'm not sure they do, actually.
Push comes to shove. Champions League final, them 3-4 players I just mentioned there, DiMarco, they start.
They've got proper competition for places, and that's why they're doing so well.
I think Simone Inzaghi would love to have Mikel Arteta's budget. I mean, he's had to sell Lukaku, he's had to sell Onana, he's had to sell Skriniar, he's had to sell the whole of the team, really. That was the one that he inherited, which won the title, and the one that he got to the Champions League final.
I bet them four I just mentioned, Martin, start against Napoli at the weekend.
But look, the point I'm making is that in the second half, Arsenal did almost everything they could to score a goal here. and I saw a really good reactions. So everyone wants to put Arsenal away. I don't think there's a massive crisis for Arsenal. I don't think they're that far away from getting it right. They've got to keep believing in what they're doing. Yes, they're not scoring goals, but I thought when Yeri came on, perhaps should have been on a bit earlier.
I want to see him
demonstrated some real quality when he came on.
But I don't think anyone's trying to put Arsenal away here, Mike.
No,
I
admire what Inter Milan are doing. You know, they have a different model. They have a director of football who's coming to the end of his career, shall we say. He's been remarkable in what he's done. They've got three transfers in. And it shows in their performance, but a lot of people knocking Arsenal. I'm standing up for them a little bit here tonight, and I thought they did better than maybe was mentioned in the commentary. I thought they had one or two chances that they didn't put away, but they certainly went after their opponent today.
Why are Arsenal people so touchy?
Here you have Hakan Calhanoglu handling his business as well. Penalty record now 15-15. He's perfect in UCL as well. This man, just talk to me a little bit about what he does, some of the things that maybe the rest of planet Earth does not see that he does that is special and provides for Inter Milan.
Well, listen, he's obviously so important with his experience in midfield for Inter. We understand how great a footballer he is when he's in possession of the ball, but I think his best art, the place where he's most dominant is with his dead ball striking. Whenever he steps up to take a penalty kick, you just don't think he's ever going to miss. You just saw right there, 19 from 19 from the spot for Inter. It's outstanding. I dived even a little bit further back to see where he did miss a penalty kick. Obviously, he has done on the international side of things, but the last club goal that he missed from the spot, last club penalty kick, you just don't think he's ever going to miss. You just saw right there, 19 from 19 from the spot for Inter. It's outstanding. I dived even a little bit further back to see where he did miss a penalty kick. Obviously, he has done on the international side of things, but the last club goal that he missed from the spot, last club penalty kick, was for Leverkusen back in 2016. It's 23 he has taken for his club teams without missing. That is ridiculous record from the spot. But I'm going to throw this out there. It may be a bit controversial. It might be a little stupid, but I don't care. Come at me if you will. This guy is the best dead ball striker that we have in the game. Lionel Messi, I understand, is very good on free kicks. He's best definitely hitting a ball that's moving. But for someone who strikes a dead ball in the way that he does, I don't think I've seen anyone like it. You can roll up the names. Del Piero, David Beckham. I mean, Messi obviously is up there. I just think that this guy is something unique, something we've never ever seen before. He's so special. He's so dominant. He's clearly deadly. And this guy is something out of this world from dead ball situations. So controversial take, if you like it. Best in the world. Never seen anything like it.
And now, and in fact, I'm going to do it for sound effects purposes. Let's talk about Arsenal. What happened there?
Okay.
Michael Arteta's tactics, hermano.
Yeah.
Is there something that needs to be adjusted? Because now, they're going through a pretty dry spell right now.
Yeah, listen, statistically, it just doesn't lie. Arsenal created a ton of opportunities. They're clearly struggling. I understand that they're struggling, and I know the Gunners obviously have got quality in their ranks, but still scoring goals is a problem for them right now. Desperately disappointing. But for me in particular, Arteta's under pressure right now, whether you like it or not. Losing this game, not good. It is the first goal that they've conceded in the Champions League this season, which is, of course, disappointing for them. Losing the game, even more so disappointing. But just what they're creating in front of goals, to me, it's a huge concern for all Arsenal fans out there. You've got a derby coming up against Chelsea, and then they've got Nottingham Forest before you then have to take a trip to play Sporting Lisbon, who has one of the hottest strikers on the planet right now. It's desperate times for Arsenal. They're losing ground domestically in the Premier League. They're 5th now in the Premier League, which is absolutely ridiculous. But in the Champions League, obviously they're a team that you want to be doing well, but they're just so far away from it. I'm just thinking Arteta's under more and more pressure. He will be happy with his team today. They put out a decent performance, but they just don't look like they're scoring. Having Odegaard come off the bench is a nice thing. Rice not being fit and healthy is disappointing. But Arsenal are so far off of it right now. They are so far away from it. I know it was only 1-0. This was an Inter side that rotated and had one eye on the game at the weekend. Arsenal didn't have that luxury. They had to play a strong team, and they just still didn't have enough.
And you mentioned, obviously, Rice, but Odegaard also. Let's talk about him a little bit. He came on today. After a couple of weeks of struggling there with his injury, he wanted to get back into the action, and he did. But, again, an Arsenal without bullets is not Arsenal.
No, it's not. Obviously, they need their weapons of disposal to be able to create, and I think the goal scoring is always going to be a problem for them. Creativity, I think breaking the final third, it was a great example against Newcastle at the weekend where they were so desperately disappointed. They couldn't find a way through that Newcastle team. They were continuously trying to break down with pass after pass that was going to absolutely nobody. No one was making the running behind. No one was playing that striker's position. Today they had opportunities. Obviously, you saw this Kai Havertz one right at the end there where he should have put it on target and tested Jan Sommer. Odegaard comes in and brings creativity. He brings style. But how fit is he? How much is he ready to go? Is he ready to be 90 minutes? I don't think so. When you have an injury like he's had, you've got to be very cautious how you throw him in there. But I'm going to throw this again out there. Arteta's under pressure. We've all been reading the news. Edu is departing the club.
Is that causing a little bit of...
OK, so far, a terrible timing goal to concede for Arsenal, a penalty just before the break. We're going to get straight to it. I want to take you to the incident first of all. This was from a free kick given away by Saliba. Talk to me a little bit about Martin. How frustrating do you find this penalty to concede?
Well, extremely. I mean, the wording is it in the arm in an unnatural position? And it certainly isn't. You know, that I mean, I don't know who determines that, but the referee's given it. VAR then is never going to intervene. And then we have this debate again. You know, and I think it's ruining our game, to be honest. It's certainly ruined Arsenal's team talk there at half-time. I didn't think there was anything between the two teams. And Arsenal really hard done by that. Well,
the difference is we were talking about if it was in the Premier League, they would make an allowance for proximity, whereas they don't here. UEFA, IFAB actually say it's an offence if you're unnaturally bigger, which you're right about, Martin. There's not much you can do about it, but that's the rules, though, Rio, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate the rules are different in different competitions. I think that's the confusing thing for not only players but fans and us pundits that are watching the game. But I thought Arsenal started the game slowly, but eventually grew into the game. Inter were very sharp out of the blocks, hit the crossbar with Dumfries, but I thought Arsenal grew in. I think they'll be disappointed to go in at 1-0 down after the first 45.
There was also a VAR check a little bit earlier on for a potential Arsenal penalty. Martin, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the tale of two penalties. You look at this, the keeper makes the contact, it's the follow-through. That catches the player. No, I mean, I would have been unhappy if that was the other end and it would have been given against us. Yeah. That's what I will say.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think it's a penalty. The keeper comes out, gets there in the end, gets contact on the ball. If he doesn't make contact with the ball, then I think, yeah, we've got an argument for a penalty. But